Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at building awareness around how the lead arm and the rib cage interact in the downswing to help players to create more space, improve their hand path and their club delivery. So if you're a player that into downswing often looks like you don't have much room, like your hand path is getting a little bit high, a little bit in front, this is going to be the ideal video for you to create more space and improve that hand path. Thanks once again for tuning in. So today we're looking at how building awareness of how the lead arm and the rib cage interact in the start of the downswing can be really helpful for players that want to have more space for their arms in downswing, as well as improving their hand path and club delivery. So for players that typically don't have room for their arms, the rib cage is very much pushed upon or very close and tight to the lead arm, and it's very much that interaction in many cases that leads to the hand path being pushed high out in front, and the player is going to have to compensate from that initial start to downswing move into impact in a way that just makes it hard to be consistent. So what we are looking for players like this, or what I encourage for players like this, is that in the start of the downswing, let's create space between the lead arm and the rib cage by let's have the rib cage, and I've shared this drill before, it was quite a while ago. Let's get to the top and let's use the trail hand to guide the rib cage very much around and open. So I'll show you that from face on. I'm just going to go to the top of my backswing, take my trail hand, put it on my rib cage here. Somewhat, I've referenced before in rib cage guidance, just kind of interlacing the fingers in between the ribs. So again, doing that there and just kind of guiding the rib cage around there in a way that almost like your sternum points at, if there was a ball 3 feet in front of the ball that you have on the ground here, somewhere around there. And now everyone rotates differently, everyone moves differently. That's a very vague reference point I'm giving you there, but from the top of backswing, take the trail hand, guide the rib cage around, but more importantly, that interaction between the lead arm and the rib cage, be aware of that. Be aware of, like, from the top of backswing here, if I'm pushing this rib cage around and open, how much space I now have between that lead arm and the rib cage there. So I'm going to go to the top of backswing. There won't be as much room there. I always encourage players to work towards having space between their rib cage and their arms at the top, but from there, with a player that struggles for the space, I would be wanting to create space in the transition. Now if I was to 3D them, it's very unlikely that it would actually be creating that space. So this very much, it's important to keep in mind that this is more a feel related to a specific movement pattern. So we're to the top, hand off, guiding the rib cage around, creating a ton of space, and in guiding the rib cage, what's very evident is it's really helping with the lower body movement as well. So I'm feeling myself very much in my left heel, very much keeping connection with my right heel to the ground as I'm doing this little reference it. And there's a point, let's say right around here in downswing for me, where my sternum, my body feels pointed at the ball. My rib cage is very much over the ball instead of being very much in this position here that you often see with the movement pattern we're discussing today. So after you've rehearsed a few of these, you probably don't need to do as many as I've just done there. You might just want to do a few at home. If the club feels heavy, always an option. Turn it upside down and focus on the body movement. A lot lighter this way, you'll be able to get more reps in. Great exercise to be doing in the mirror at home as well. So we're going to get in here. I'm just going to be aware of my rib cage and my lead arm. As I'm coming into the shot right around here, just feel like I have tons and tons of space. Really feel as though I'm really covering it as well. And covering it to me is simply just being my rib cage is more over the ball this way instead of that kind of a movement pattern. Okay, let's get in here. Let's rehearse that move. Let's see how we go. Nice one there. Okay, so if you're looking at creating space, felt like I just had tons of room there, take that exercise in the mirror, away from the ball, build up to it. Then when you're first hitting shots, obviously I've done that a lot. I've worked on things like that a lot. If it's new to you, take your time, start slow, and be patient with yourself while you're exploring these new concepts.